to your meeting today. I'm a park ranger with the National Park Service, and I've worked in parks across the United States. Today, I work with large lived-in landscapes called National Heritage Areas. You'll learn more about National Heritage Areas during today's program called Operation Pollination, a Rotary ESRAG project. I began my Rotary journey at the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina more than 20 years ago. When I transferred to Yosemite National Park, I ultimately became the president of the Yosemite Valley Rotary Club during Rotary's centennial year in 2005. Today, I'm a member of the Paths and Pollinators E-Committee of Rotary District 5970 out of Northeast Iowa. I am also a member of ESRAG. As many of you know, Rotary has these community of practice action groups called Rotary Action Groups that focus on areas of common interest, like water quality or literacy or disease prevention and control or the environment, as well as other RAGs or Rotary Action Groups. ESRAG is the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group. Now with Rotary's recent addition of a seventh area of focus, which, as many of you know, is support of the environment, ESRAG is well positioned to be of service to your club with environmental-related projects like Operation Pollination. Let's briefly talk about the free environmental services that pollinators provide us. Incredibly, pollinators are responsible for the reproductive success of more than 85% of the world's plants. Yet since the 1970s, pollinators have declined by more than 40% worldwide. If this trend continues, we should ask ourselves, what type of world are we leaving our children and our grandchildren? This decline is a global environmental issue and crisis. As we continue through this program, I ask you to please think of these intriguing words. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. But with those new eyes, nobody wants to see this, right? This is a Whole Food store produce section set up by the Xerces Society, an insect-focused organization. If you like to eat, which I know we all do, you have a stake in protecting pollinators. This is the only quiz I'm going to give you during this presentation. What's this? Any guesses? Some of you might say an aerial view of a forest infested by beetles. It is a forest. It's an Oyamel fir forest on a mountaintop in Mexico. And this is what it looks like up close. Those trees are covered in monarch butterflies. Millions and millions of monarch butterflies. These Mexican mountaintops are where the monarch butterfly overwinters each year. But despite the fact that these photos look like the monarch is doing okay, they are not. Since the 1990s, the monarch population has declined by more than 90%. I bring your attention to the monarch because it is such an iconic pollinator species. Many of us remember from our childhood. But the monarch is just one of thousands and thousands of pollinator species. Other pollinators are bees, butterflies, wasps, moths, beetles, flies, some birds like the hummingbird, some tropical bats, even some reptiles and small mammals are pollinators. I didn't know this, but I found out recently the male mosquito is even a pollinator. Who would have known? Because the little things that run the world are declining, Operation Pollination was conceived and is being implemented in places across the United States. Before I tell you about the nuts and bolts of Operation Pollination, I want to tell you about its history. First, Operation Pollination dates back to 2015, when 3 federal land management agencies, the National Park Service, who I work for, the U.S. Forest Service, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, decided that they wanted to work together on a pollinator project and invited other organizations to join the cause, like Rotary. Thus was born the St. Croix Valley Pollinator Partnership. Minnesota's U.S. Congresswoman Betty McCollum came to the kickoff event to show support for the event. Second, in 2018, when I was now working with these large landscapes across the United States, 3 of these in the Midwest agreed to experiment with the rebranded Operation Pollination project. By 2020, 36 of these national heritage areas out of 55 across the nation told me they were interested in joining the project. Here's the list of those 36 areas. Maybe there's one near you. The ones in brown have actually issued their own pollinator resolution and have recruited other partners to join them in their efforts. While COVID-19 negatively affected National Heritage Area participation in Operation Pollination in 2020 and 2021, I'm still very hopeful that all 55 National Heritage Areas join the cause by 2023. The third project that is a very important part of Operation Pollination history just happened in August 2020. That's when Rotary's ESRAG adopted the Operation Pollination project as its own. This was a momentous occasion for the project, especially since Rotary had recently declared support of the environment as a 7th area of focus. ESRAG immediately developed an Operation Pollination website, which I encourage you to look through. It's a pretty simple site. The site only has one purpose, which is to inform you how to engage in Operation Pollination. On the homepage of the operationpollination.net website, you can find the 3 easy steps to implement an Operation Pollination project. I'll tell you about those 3 easy steps now. But before I do so, I want to bring to your attention an article in Rotary magazine that ESRAG was also able to obtain for the October 2020 issue. That article is called The Butterfly Effect, and it has some helpful websites for you on page 50 that can help you with a pollinator project. Like the sites where you type in your zip code and up pops the native plants appropriate to plant for your ecoregion. Incredible. Now for the nuts and bolts of Operation Pollination. Just 3 easy steps. First, your club or your district, or both, or another organization you're involved with, issues a pollinator resolution. Second, you use your networking abilities and recruit partner organizations to sign a pollinator pledge. Third, you put the names of your pledge partners on the back of your resolution and obtain widespread media attention. And you will get media attention for this, especially if you recruit others to collaborate with you on your project. Here's step 1, a signed pollinator resolution. This resolution is from Rotary District 6450 in Chicago. A template for the resolution can be found on the operationpollination.net website. Go to the home page and just scroll down a little and you will see the 3 easy steps. Templates for a pollinator resolution and a pollinator pledge form can be found under steps 1 and 2. Step 2 is your pollinator pledge. Take your pledge form to organizations in your community. Ask them to sign on to your pollinator resolution by doing something positive for pollinators. Please remember that Operation Pollination is an inclusive project that encourages you to recruit a diversity of partners to join the cause. These partners can be large or small, government or non-government, for-profit or not-for-profit. In addition, every effort is appreciated, depending on a partner's capabilities and current capacity. In Operation Pollination, please know that planting a few seeds is just as important as restoring a prairie. There is no judgment of your projects. While Operation Pollination is not prescriptive, please know there are plenty of websites that you can research for project ideas. Finally, step 3 is the placement of the organization names you have recruited onto the back of your pollinator resolution. Now, go get media attention. Please know that this collaborative project will be of great interest to the media. So again, Operation Pollination is these 3 easy steps. Step 1 is your pollinator resolution. Step 2 is your pollinator pledge form. And step 3 is the placement of these organizations' names that you've recruited with your pledge form on the back of your pollinator resolution. Now go get widespread media attention. As stated, Operation Pollination is an ESRAG project. ESRAG, again, is the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group. As a start, this pollinator project is being led by Rotarians who want to see pollinator habitat restored by Rotary districts and clubs from Canada to Mexico. Ultimately, every Rotary district, every club, every Rotarian around the world should consider joining this cause, as well as other organizations interested in protecting the environment. You don't have to be a Rotarian or in Rotary to join Operation Pollination. Take this example. Rotary District 6450 out of Chicago, they signed their own pollinator resolution, as I mentioned before. They're now recruiting the 62 clubs in their Rotary district, which is over 2,000 Rotarians, to get involved in Operation Pollination. Here's another example, the Monarch Sister Schools Project. This could be your Operation Pollination project that you put on your pollinator pledge form. The Monarch Sister Schools Project helps establish pollinator habitat in schoolyards and connects students in Mexico, Canada, and the USA with each other. Again, this could be the project that you commit to work on that you put onto your pollinator pledge form. Please contact Mary Ann if you want to explore this project more. Speaking of the monarch, here's what the monarch needs to survive: milkweed. The monarch butterfly is host specific, just like all pollinators with other plants. I took this photo in a community out on eastern Long Island. The community leaders there made the important decision that they wanted to help monarchs survive. You see, monarchs need milkweed to deposit their eggs on. They will not use any other plant. The caterpillars that hatch from monarch eggs need milkweed to survive. Milkweed contains a toxin that gets incorporated into the caterpillar's body when they eat it. This toxin doesn't hurt the caterpillar. When the monarch emerges from its chrysalis, it is bright orange. That bright orange says to predators, "Don't eat me." Again, monarchs are very host specific. They need milkweed. We've talked about the benefit of all types of organizations getting involved with Operation Pollination, but please don't forget about the power of one. Whether or not your district or club or other organization that you belong to gets involved with Operation Pollination, please remember that as individuals, your positive actions for pollinators also help make a big difference. Remember that Margaret Mead quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Your personal actions to help pollinators really add up. Remember, the end goal is this: pollinators equals food security equals national security. Protecting pollinators is actually a national security issue. This is definitely how we want to see our grocery stores. Your actions can help ensure this. In closing, we thank you for your leadership with everything you do, especially the potential work that you might do with Operation Pollination. Pollinators really need your help. Your actions, large or small, do make a difference. Remember, this is what we want to see. Now, I would just like to say goodbye to you with this beautiful T.S. Eliot quote. "The end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." That's really the goal of Operation Pollination, to help you and your club and your community know just how important the habitat in your community is for the success of pollinators. Thank you once again. We look forward to toasting your success. Here is my contact information and the operationpollination.net website. If you need any help getting started at all, please contact me. I also highly recommend that you listen to the other recorded programs on this website, like past District Governor Tina Hall's program on pollinator habitat ideas, and Marianne Rishi-Barger's talk about the Monarch Sister Schools program. Thank you again. Be well, stay well.